Yo, it's your boy Jordan here to bring you some more NBA news, talk to you guys a little bit more. It's crazy how much has happened in these last like 24 to 48 hours. We're talking trades, we're talking fires and hopeful hires, crazy performances. It's just a lot. Kind of don't even know where to begin. First, hope everyone's doing all right. It's another cold winter day and what's supposed to be sunny South Florida, but it's kind of gray outside. It kind of reminds me of that like episode of I think it was Foster's Home. No. It was Fairy Odd Parents where Timmy wished everyone was like the same or something. Everything was gray, but it's cold as hell, bro. Like I don't know. It didn't used to be like this. It used to be warm and hot, like really hot. Like it used to be like 80 around these times. This crap is crazy. Like, speaking of hot, two guys that were hot last night, Embiid and freaking Cat, bro. Like, okay, Embiid was expected. Everyone thought that, Embiid was going to bully Wemby a bit. And Wemby played great, don't get me wrong, but the comparison in these stat lines are way, way out of place. Forgive me, I'm a little sick, a little under the weather. Like I said, it's real cold, or at least for me, it's cold. It's like, well, it's probably only like 60, 70. I'm not gonna lie. But shoot, man, just the wind. It's the wind, really, that gets me. But Embiid, let's see what he had. He had 70, 18, 5 in a win. They won by like 10 points or so. And then people were saying that he got the 70 in garbage time, but they still dogging him for these free throws. Like, bro, if you watch the game, man, like these free throws are earned. People gotta stop playing. Just like appreciate greatness. This man 24 in the first, ended the game with 70. And did something that even Will hasn't done. And for the Timberwolves, even though they lost, and I'm gonna get into a little bit on the L soon, but for Cat, he still had a great performance individually. Finished with 62 and 8 rebounds. He was snapping. He didn't do much in the fourth. I think he only had fourth point quarter. Oh, sorry, 4 points in the fourth, and the team, just fell off. And the coach was talking about it. Uh, Head coach Chris Finch was saying how it was immature basketball. And I didn't watch that game personally, so I don't want to speak on it like something I don't know. But if it is the way he's saying it with, if it did go down the way he said it with, where they were force feeding him the ball just to get him the stats, then yeah, that's immature basketball. I can see why he said that. I've seen a lot of comments from other people about it, other like fans, not analysts or anything, but other fans around NBA Twitter and Instagram saying like if their head coach told them something like that, they request a transfer or or not a transfer, a trade and stuff like that. And with the whole narrative of going on about it, about how they were force feeding the ball, just looking at it from that perspective, I guess I can say a little 2 cents on it. I feel like the people who are commenting that they'd request a trade or they wouldn't take that from their head coach, blah blah blah. Yeah, that's immature for them on their part. Constructive criticism. You guys, like, they lost. He had 62 and they lost. Embiid had 70. He won. There's a big difference there. To only have 4 in the fourth, like obviously he didn't do his part. He didn't close out, and I believe that's not completely on him. I think they took him out in the fourth. But I mean, again, if it's immature basketball, is I'm seeing uh, around Twitter, then yeah, he got taken out. He got taken out the game in the crunch time. So I feel like people are like taking bits and pieces of it and making it seem like the coach did a bad thing. But in the grand scheme of it, they lost. So something had to go wrong, obviously. But what's funnier about Embiid's case is how literally on Instagram yesterday, I was going back and forth a little bit about this guy who was saying Embiid is a fraud. Like we weren't even going into like the previous year MVP and stuff. Just as like a superstar, just as a great player in general, he was saying Embiid's a fraud, because of the usual crap. Is the overload of free throws, say he's a free throw merchant. And the dude was really like honing in on a point that like revolved around Embiid taking baby jumpers and dribbling a lot and pretty much how who does this? How Anthony Davis was, I think in like 2020, I think. But like when he first got there, he's just on the perimeter all the time. They're saying Embiid was like that. Yeah, he was like that last year a bit. But Nick Nurse has really turned their offensive scheme around. He's gotten Embiid in that low post a lot, creating easy mismatches and whatnot. Like he had 18 boards. A lot of those are his own rebounds. You just being a big body and being a big presence down there. He was getting the job done. And it was funny watching that game. Like, yeah, he had his easy middies. He drew his fouls, but like I said, he was making down low. He was killing down there. I think he only had one made three, so the rest came from inside the arc, like strict twos and free throws. Like that's talent. You can't hate on that, and I just don't see how people hate on that or on any superstar for that matter. Furthermore, the night before last night, so 2 nights ago, actually even last night, KD had 43 as well. I think there was a lot of crazy performances last night. Actually, not even just in beating Cat, but I mean KD had 43, and he's doing this at his old age or getting up there in his years. I think it was what year 17 to 18. Like KD's been in the league for a minute, and he's still putting up numbers like this, leading the team. And I can see from where my homie at, he was saying like, I don't know, man. In Phoenix, bro, I don't know if that's Booker's team. Light quotes around his, but he was saying that's KD's team. And I'm seeing it, bro. That man is at 40. He had 43 last night, and then the night before that, he actually had a 40-point game with zero free throws, just pure buckets. Generational talent. It's gonna be crazy when players like him are out of the league, like with LeBron, KD, and Steph or Chris Paul are all out of the league. The league is in good hands, but shoot, I'm gonna miss them a lot. And I feel like a lot of people downgrade these players, these veteran stars, maybe because of that reason. The fact that they're on their way out, you just can't handle that they're not, in their younger years when they are running the league. I don't know. It could be something else. I really don't know. So what else is going on in the league? We got trade talk, and what's the deadline? February 8th? Yeah, February 8th. So that's what, 2 weeks. 2 weeks into the trade deadline. And today we had Terry Rozier traded to Miami, and they got him on a steal. They got a 23 point per game score just for Lowry and a 2027 first rounder. That is a steal, bro. Like, so I can't really say uh about fit and how it's gonna look for him or what kind of looks he's gonna get on offense or opportunities or what's gonna mean for this player or that player. But I do understand basic stuff. You got a scorer like that to their roster with the grit that he has, like his scheme, his demeanor. I mean, it fits Miami's culture. Fits it a lot, really. I feel like that's a great home for him. I'm not saying Charlotte wasn't, but that's a great fit for him with Bam, Jimmy, Hero, Jaime. He's gonna be straight. It's gonna be a lot of how do I want to say this? I feel like there's gonna be more creative opportunities, like how when Bradley Beal went to Phoenix. Now he's not the only guy. He is the third option, but he also could be the first or second. Because they have that many threats on the team. Same with Dame going to Milwaukee. Playing with Giannis, he has more opportunities because he's not in Portland where it's just him. So I feel like that's nice for the Heat. And since, we're in sunny South Florida, I don't have a favorite team, but when it comes playoff time, I guess I can say I'm a Heat fan. But during the regular season, I just love the game itself. So for Miami, that's a W. It's definitely a W. There's no L's taken in that. Even if he comes out putting up just 15 instead of 23, that's a W. That's more than what we're going to get for Lowry. And I guess the only concern about it is what are they going to do defensively? But really, is that a concern? Is that a real concern? Are we really worried about Miami's defense? Like, didn't they have a backcourt a couple years back where it was Hero, Dragic, Chris Dunn, and what Duncan Robinson? Yeah, they can make that work with Terry Rozier, and he's quick on his feet. Yeah, they'll be fine. There's no worries in that. So moving aside from Miami's W, Joel, who's definitely making his case for MVP. Whew. Cat's L. We'll move on to another. Actually, I don't even know about this one. I guess this is the one point of this segment that I can't even classify as a winner or loss. This is just a bunch of confusion. So tell me how Milwaukee fires their head coach as their 30 and 13 second in the standings. They fire their head coach, but the Nasus is still on the roster. Speak that makes sense. Giannis says that everyone needs to do better. And from what I assume, they have been doing a little bit better. Now, if I'm wrong on that, then I'll be wrong on that. But they fired their head coach. Just from the outside looking in, I don't know what like plan they have for it. I have heard that they like talking to other head coaches, of course, and I think Doc Rivers is like supposed to be front runner, even though they haven't spoken yet or something like that. I just don't know what the plan is. I guess time will tell. Trust the process. That's just a weird one. Like, why did they fire him? What did he do? Did he think they could get someone that can do better than 30 and 13? Was that good enough? Do they still feel like they're underperforming? Like, I know they had that little stretch of losses, but they're 30 and 13, even with that. I don't know, man. I don't know. If any one of you guys out there find out, please let me know. I really don't know what's going on there. I guess I'll keep like looking into it here and there. I really don't care that much, honestly. Um, I care to see what the outcome is. I don't really care too much for the details. I mean, sorry for him losing the job. I'm sure there's going to be a team that's going to pick you up somewhere. You'll bounce back if Ime bounce back, then you can too. And he's doing great over there. I believe is where Houston. He's doing fine. Prayers up to you though, brother. On this, seriously, on that note. But shoot, y'all, for all this happening, like we already know, like I said, the trade deadline coming up in 2 weeks. What are we like? What tonight? Yeah, NBA Finals. Not, whew, backtrack. NBA Finals now. We're talking about NBA Rivals Week starting tonight, and there's some good matchups. But I'm honestly waiting for, I believe it's tomorrow night, where Suns and Mavs. I'm gonna catch that game for sure. And I need to see this Luka Booker matchup. It's Luka and Kyrie versus Bill Booker and Durant. Like, there's some good ones in there. I believe I saw Celtics the Heat. I think I saw Battle of LA, Clippers versus Lakers. I think I saw Lakers and Warriors, and some other. There were some other good ones in there. What was it? It was OKC and somebody else. It was like OKC and maybe Houston or something. I'm not sure, but there's some really. I don't know. I think it was OKC. Yeah, OKC and San Antonio for Chet and Wemby. That's man. There's some good matchups going on this week, so stay tuned for that. We'll probably get some content out on that later in the week. But stay tuned, y'all, because 2024 is just getting started. It's only going to keep getting better from here. Peace and love to everyone out there listening.